Hello, guys. Can you guys hear me here?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
I think isn't Brian? Shouldn't Brian be on?
Bernardo, I think, or Bernard. He's not on yet, I don't think.
Because this is the session on real impact, though.
This is the one I'm supposed to be on, yes?
I think you're on the next one.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah, because it's supposed to
Okay.
be Brian and Lucas on this session.
Right. Okay. Oh, I see, I see. I'm right off, so I think you guys are a bit. I'm just gonna turn off video here.
Uh, um,
Can you turn off my video from there? I don't see that. Oh, I see it. Okay.
no, I can't. So for this next session on real impact, we'll be introducing two founders here. So Brian from Katani Pay and Lucas from Bitfi. So Brian is the CMO and customer support at Katani Pay. Brian has key competencies in branding, social media, and marketing. Brian has worked at EOS Nairobi as a volunteer and a community manager, qualified for the global EOS Hackathon series, and made it to the grand finale. Brian has also served as a community manager and marketing lead at EOS Nairobi and Katani Labs. We're happy to have Brian here today. Thank you again, Brian, for taking the time. Next, I'll introduce Lucas from Bitfi. Lucas is Bitfi's founder and CEO, the first cryptocurrency portfolio in Brazil. Lucas has 14 years of experience in software development, and before founding the company in September of 2018, he founded Warp Exchange, a payment solution using blockchain technology, where he was also the CEO. Lucas is author of 9 books. He works for several technology companies, having his first contact with cryptocurrencies in 2011. He's passionate about innovation. Lucas studied accounting, economics, and later systems analyst and development in university. And in 2017, he started a master's degree in development engineering by the Institute de Pesquisa Technologies. And sorry if I butchered that a little bit. But really happy to have you guys here today. And, we'll just kind of kick it off in terms of what is your project about? And maybe I'll start off with Lucas. That's the first speaker here. What's your project about? And just tell us a little bit more about yourself here.
Okay, well, very nice to be here with you guys. It's a pleasure to talk to everyone about what Bitfi provides here in Brazil. And we are very proud to be a part of the alliance too. So Bitfi is a self-custody wallet app that connects you to the traditional financial system in Brazil using cryptocurrencies. So basically with our app, which is a wallet, you can send your cryptos, we have more than 10 cryptocurrencies inside of the app. Salo Dollar is one of them. And we provide you a way to use as a wallet and use to interact with the traditional financial system. So you can pay bills, you can purchase products, you can buy goods and services at any merchant of the country. We do have a strong system that was basically developed as a payment institution. So we connect all of the features that exists in the traditional system, like for any digital bank in the country. We connect all of this to allow our users to use their cryptocurrencies instead of local currency. So basically, you can buy anything that you already can buy using Brazilian reais, which is the currency here, but you can do that with your Sal dollars, for instance. So this is the main thing of the project.
Definitely. No, thank you for that explanation there. I'll hand it over to you, Brian, to kind of explain what Katani Pay is about, the project, and kind of where you guys are now.
Absolutely, for this as well. So Kotani Pay is also a self-custody wallet, but the major difference is that it's not a mobile app. So to access the service, you simply dial a code, for example, *1. So where this works very well is for users who do not have smartphones or internet access. They're able to access this service and they're able to coins, fiat to but the stable coins.
Here, sorry there. I think I don't know if that was only maybe on my side, but it seemed like there was
No.
technical
Yeah.
difficulty.
Yeah.
Maybe
With mysteries.
the last like 10 seconds, if maybe you could just revamp that.
Yeah, sorry for that. So I was saying that by design, the solution is blockchain agnostic, which simply means that it can plug to any sort of protocol to leverage the stable coins. Because that's where we're seeing a lot of value.
Okay, definitely. Thank you for that. And then I'll go back to you here, Lucas. How is your project aligned with Cello's mission of prosperity for all?
Yeah, well, this is one of the main things about our project. We aim to connect all of the Brazilian people into a more inclusion, into a financial system that is not has no borders, so a borderless financial system, so that people here in Brazil can have access to financial systems and financial products from outside of Brazil. And this kind of things is already happening inside of Bitfi. They are already happening, just like the project that we have with Impact Market. So we have more than 300, actually 3,500 people that receive an unconditional basic income inside of our wallet and use to buy goods and services here in Brazil, to pay for bills and stuff like this. So this is one of the things that we think that our project was developed to help. For instance, if you receive this inside Bitfi, you can do everything that you can do with your local currency, and you're a part of something bigger. So you're a part of a project, an international project, and you are close to the regulators, because Bitfi is close to the regulators here in Brazil, and you don't need to take care about stuff like what should I do to declare that I received money from outside of Brazil and stuff like this, that people who are receiving these tokens, these cryptocurrencies, they don't know how to do. So we do everything for the final user, and the final user is the beneficiary of these kind of programs. So we aim to help them, and the technology is providing this for them right now.
Definitely. Thank you for that. And then I'll hand it over to you as well, Brian. Kind of same question. How is your project aligned with Cello's mission for prosperity for all?
Great. So we are aligned in that mission, in that we are designing for the 440 million Africans who do not have access to internet and don't have smartphones. And that's about a third of the population in Africa. So our solution sort of goes to the last mile user. And we're also targeting people who are unbanked. So our solution plays a pretty good role for that use case.
I really appreciate that. Very insightful here. So I'll go back to you, Lucas. So how are your solutions providing financial inclusion to the most vulnerable communities that are out there?
Sorry, your phone rang.
No, my apologies. My computer's connected to it. But how are your solutions providing financial inclusion to vulnerable communities in your region?
Yeah, very cool. All of the communities here in Brazil, they receive these tokens inside of our app or in Valora, and they send this to our app. And our app as a wallet allow them to interact with the traditional financial system. So once you have these tokens, you can literally do everything from inside of our app. You don't need to take care about anything else. So you go to a merchant, for instance, and you say, I want to pay with a QR code functionality. So basically, the merchant choose the price of the product, and it displays a QR code, and you scan using your wallet, and you pay using your cell dollars, for instance. So all of these families are used to do this kind of payments in their day-by-day tasks and things. And at the same time, one of the main features for them is paying bills, which is a payment method here in Brazil called boleto. And this is a bill with a barcode, an invoice with a barcode so that you can pay literally anything in the country using your unconditional basic income. So our technology helped them to do that.
Definitely. No, really, thank you for that. And then again, same question to you, Brian. How is basically Katani Pay reaching the most vulnerable communities, and I guess the process you guys are using there?
Right. So at the very basic level, for a user of Kotani Pay, you find that they own a SIM card, so they also own a feature phone or an SMS phone. So Kotani Pay also provides a very familiar interface for them. And on one side, we connect to the Silo blockchain. On the other side, we are linked to the mobile money solutions that most of these users already have. So once they receive this token statements, but also in time, we also would like to also add services to Tiny Pay so that they can also just be able to use the stablecoins that we already have on the platform.
Definitely. Definitely. So I'll just ask the next question to you as well, Brian, and then we'll hop over to Lucas. But how is this solution used by impact markets beneficiaries? And then how many beneficiaries are currently helped through your off-ramp solution here?
Right. So impact market by design has well up. And remember, our users, most of them do not have smartphones, or even if they have smartphones, most of them will find they may not be able to afford to buy internet bundles, or the smartphones themselves are limited in storage, so you may not be able to add an additional mobile app. And this case might be having actually two apps, Impact Market and Valora, the Silo mobile wallet. So we were able to integrate Impact Market's platform in that just by dialing a code and selecting one of the options, if you're already sort of added to that community, say Coiti A, you are able to do your daily or your weekly basic income claim. And so far, we are helping around 1,700 beneficiaries with the possibility towards around 6,000 in the next few months. And that's in Kenya only. And also recently went live in Ghana. We're also working with partners Rio, and we're also likely to add more beneficiaries on that.
Definitely. No, that's amazing work there. So back to you, Lucas. Kind of same question. How's your solution used by Impact Market? And then how many beneficiaries are kind of benefiting from your solution?
Yeah, perfect. Well, the users they can choose to receive directly inside Bitfi wallet, or they can receive it in Valora app, and after that they send to Bitfi wallet. And once they are inside of Bitfi, they can have access to all of these features that I told you. Right now we have more than 3,500 users, which is basically the main. They are all over the country. So in the northeast and the southeast are pretty much more than in the rest of the country. But right now they receive this money and they use our app to buy goods and services. But at the same time, they are allowed to swap between Salo dollar to local currency inside of the app too. So it's a way to get the local currency if they need it.
And then I'll just follow up with a question as well to you here, Lucas. With everything that's exciting that you guys are doing with Bitfi, what's you guys' next project, or maybe your most exciting thing that's maybe coming up here?
Yeah, we are expanding internationally. So basically, we are going to a few other countries here in Latin America, such as Argentina, Colombia, and Chile. And until the first quarter of next year, we're gonna go to Middle East, actually all of the MENA region, Middle East, North Africa region. So basically, we aim to have the same system to all of these countries.
Definitely. No, that's really exciting there. And then, of course, same question to you, Brian, here. What's you guys' next project or kind of things that you guys are working on?
Absolutely. Our product is also a mass market product. So the next steps is also just to get into more African countries as much as possible, especially also where our partners like Impact Market are available. So it can also enable and empower these users to be able to cash out. And beyond that, also once we sort of set footing in that front, we also want to be able to add value addition on the platform. So it's also getting very big, especially on the network. So we'll also be able to extend this service to the beneficiaries.
Definitely. Well, it's been an honor, guys, kind of being here on this panel with you. Really appreciate you guys for taking the time. So what I'll do here is kind of introduce the next moderator. But again, appreciate you guys for taking the time.
Thank you for your time as well. Congratulations to Impact Market for 1 year in the industry.
No, thank you there.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. So our next moderator will be Hiba. She is the country director for Tunisia and a couple other countries. She'll be moderating the panel on real life impact and how to get to know our communities here. So Hiba, if you could join us, it'd be great.
Hi everyone. I hope you can hear me well. Thank you so much, Moses, for the kind introduction. So today we will be having an exciting conversation with some of our main country managers who have been doing a lot of great work with us. I am honored to introduce to you our three speakers in our panel discussion today. We have with us Ria from Kenya, we have Luciano from Brazil, and Bernard from Philippines. I see that Luciano is already here with us. Ria, I hope Ria and Bernard will be able to join us. So since Luciano is here, let me start with introducing Luciano to all of you. Luciano wears multiple hats. He is a singer and a musician, and he focuses on creating ways to heal through music, spirituality, and awakening of conscience. He is also a social media guru with over 240,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel. And he is a community leader in Brazil and will join us today, or is joining us today in his capacity of our English speaker, representing some of our biggest communities in Brazil. So thank you so much, Luciano, for joining us today.
Hello, Iva. Nice to meet you. Very glad to be here. Hello to everybody. Let's have a good time here, learn a little bit. My greetings to everyone here. Welcome.
Yes. So go ahead, Luciano. My understanding is that you have a small presentation for us.
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about our community, Dr. Limão. In fact, this community, Dr. Limão, he wants to help people to improve their health and quality of life through nutrition education and the liver cleansing protocol. There has been a great success among people, and all completely free of charge. And so I'm here talking about this specific community of Dr. Limão that is supported by the Impact Mark and Valora. And this community wants to help people to improve their health, quality of life, and to have a better life. And this community, the people are very, very satisfied with the results of all this work. So I'd like to thank, and I'm very glad. I'm glad to thank all the supporters, all people that are helping, all people that are involved with this community, Dr. Limão, that is very community that's making the difference among the poor people. Because in Brazil we have a lot of little small villages that people are very poor people, and this opportunity has been giving them an opportunity to have a better life, a better health, and also to have a better level of life. So people are very, very happy about that. So that's an easy explanation of the community, Dr. Limão.
Thank you, Luciano. Thank you so much. We appreciate this contribution, and thank you for the introduction. We will have actually a set of questions to ask all of you here present. So I see that Ria has joined us. Welcome, Ria. I will be introducing Ria to all of you. So Ria, if I'm not mistaken, you're speaking to us from Kenya. Is that correct?
No, from Ghana, from Accra.
Okay, now you're in Ghana. Okay, so Ria, to introduce Ria is everywhere, and he has been supporting Impact Market since September 2020. and has already successfully onboarded 5 communities across 3 African countries with a couple of thousands of beneficiaries. Ria is the CEO of the Refugee Integration Organization, referred to as RIO. So Ria, the CEO of RIO. Ria also has extensive experience with refugees communities, and Ria actually speaks 10 international and local languages. So welcome, Ria. We are very happy to have you join us and tell us more about your experience with Impact Market. Also, I saw Bernard joining us. I hope Bernard is not facing any technical difficulties. I invite Bernard to join us on the stage. If Bernard can hear me. Otherwise, we can start with our questions. Okay, let me then start with our first question without any further ado. And this is actually a question more specifically to Ria. So, Ria, you've had quite an experience with Impact Market so far, and you are one of our main partners after Brazil. So we would like to know, in your experience, how was Impact Market received among communities? What were some of the most important reactions of the communities towards Impact Market, and how has the onboarding process been for you? Over to you, Ria, please.
Thank you. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Amazing. Okay. So the onboarding process last year, just over a year from today, was very, very difficult indeed. The primary reason is because Africans are naturally very, very superstitious, and we're also a very religious people. And so the concept of otherwise free money coming to them after being destitute for so long seemed like witchcraft. And a lot of our beneficiaries immediately associated it with groups like the Illuminati, and thought it was some blood sacrifice, something that was about to happen. And so it took a lot of education, a lot of convincing, a lot of meetings with the community leaders before it was finally accepted. And that helped us adopt our onboarding strategy per refugee camp. We now strictly go through the religious communities and speak with the religious leaders and liaise with them in order to bring a turnaround and to bring trust within the communities, because the need is there, but a lot of people are not familiar with the concept of free money. In fact, when Marco told me about this in September last year, I thought it was completely ridiculous. I thought, there's no way you're giving free money to people. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And so the first claim was really something to behold. And then moving forward from that, being able to translate a cryptocurrency, which is also a foreign concept in these refugee camps, being able to translate that into actual local currency that they could use to transact and use to buy certain things was extremely amazing. And the thank yous that poured in and the praises and prayers that poured in are immeasurable, to say the least.
Thank you so much, Ria. Yes, so our take-home message here from the onboarding process is that it could be when we are engaging with vulnerable communities, we have to understand where these communities are coming from. We have to understand historically what has been the story of these communities. And so we need to be very sensitive culturally towards these things and know how to introduce such a project with communities. Thank you so much for all the work that you have been doing in educating our communities and in introducing the project in a way that makes everyone understand it. And there is certainly a lot to learn, a lot that we've learned and a lot that we still have to learn. That actually takes us to our second question. And I did see Bernard joining us off and on. I'm not sure if our team could reach out. Maybe Jessica and Suzanne, if you could please kindly follow up with Bernard and see if he is able to join us. I think maybe we have Bernard with us. It popped up for a second. But let's move to our next question, which is, with Impact Market, to sort of familiarize everyone with the process, once we onboard a community and once we start adding beneficiaries, then the first big event is the cash out. And I'm sure Ria here and Luciano are probably familiar with the big event of cashing out. So we wanted to ask you this question. What can you share about the first claim or cash out with your communities? How did it happen? How did you help communities cash out? What does it mean for communities to cash out? How important is that event and why? And can you also share a little bit about the Valora use? Is it being fully used by the communities? Is it integrated in the economic ecosystem? Meaning, do they use it to save their money, or do local merchants who live in their communities use Valora as well? So kind of speaking money here. Maybe let's start. Ria, do you have some input on that?
Absolutely, absolutely. So
Go ahead.
the first cash out was truly a big event. There was a lot of anticipation about it. The reason is we first and foremost tried to wait until we had a cumulative amount of around 500 Celo dollars before we had it transferred to our partners Kotani Pay to convert that into local currency for us. So between the education about onboarding, or education about impact market, and then onboarding, to the waiting period of a few weeks for the money to accumulate before we could have it transferred, was a lot of anxiety, a lot of anticipation, a lot of people turning away from the program because they believed it was not real. The reasoning behind that, or the logic behind that, was, if it actually is tangible cash, why can't I use it? Your Valora app, it also appears in local currency, and so you can see that you have money. But being in a super low income community, a super restricted community like a refugee camp, and not being able to access money that you can see, can be exceedingly frustrating. And so that entire period was strenuous for our beneficiaries and for us as well, because our phones were ringing at 4 a.m. Every day of the week. Refugees were calling us, where's our money? Why isn't it coming? If you're lying to us, let us know. Why are you taking our data? And then the cash out finally came, and then the praises came, and then the belief came. And so many people signed up from that we couldn't even contain. We couldn't manage the numbers that had joined because of the validation that we'd gotten from turning the cash into something tangible that they could use. Your second question was about whether or not they were fully utilizing Valora and saving on it. So that's been a bit of a cultural there's a bit of a cultural change there. In Ghana, a lot of our beneficiaries have started silo e-commerce businesses where they are holding Valora and shopping online and receiving payments solely in Valora. So they've created microeconomies in the refugee camps, which is Rio's core goal, to create microeconomies from refugee camps, because of how long they've been around, and how the core reason for setting up a refugee camp has been defeated. So the goal is to create microeconomies, and some of the refugees in Ghana have started doing that and have been doing it for a while, holding Celo and receiving payments solely in Celo, and starting a crypto current e-commerce business out of that. In Kenya, for instance, it's a completely different narrative. In Kenya, our beneficiaries don't interface with either the Impact Market app or the Valora app at all, because we're using a USSD onboarding style. For those present who don't know what that is, it's when you dial a short code and then you receive payments from that, or you receive a certain kind of functionality from that. The reason we migrated to USSD for Kenya is because the refugee situation there, in the Kakuma camp where we work in, that has about 200,000 refugees, is much more desperate than in Ghana. A lot less people, or a lot fewer people, have access to smartphones or are tech savvy. but they do know USSD technology. And so we thought, okay, in order to be able to truly serve the lowest of the low-income communities, even within the camps, because within the refugee camps there are tiers of poverty and of desperation and of destitution. It's not the situation is not collectively exhaustive or mutually exclusive across the camps. And so in order to be able to truly serve the people who needed it the most, which were people primarily who did not have smartphones, we migrated to USSD. And so with that said, they're not holding any cello at all. They dial a short code, and through our partners Kotani Pay, that money is converted in the back end almost simultaneously, and they receive it in their mobile money wallets. And so in Kenya, or in places where we're utilizing USSD, no one is holding Valora, but in Ghana, they're holding it and running e-commerce businesses from there as well.
Thank you so much, Ria, for sharing these insights. It is really exciting to hear that it's not only impact market, but the whole cello ecosystem that is making vulnerable people's lives a little bit easier and easing some of the misery and some of the pain in our communities. Luciano, do you have anything to add around the experience of cashing out in Brazil or?
Yeah, Eva, we have in some places in Brazil very small communities, very people poor. People don't have many times money to buy the food or basic need. And with the support of the impact market, in this community, Dr. Limão, with the share of the income basic income, people are very, very happy and very grateful because they are receiving sometimes the food that they need or help about the health. And
Yes.
their families are sometimes bigger. They're 5, 6, 7, and all the family game all the families are very, very grateful because this action that is coming. So
Yes.
it's a very good thing that it's coming, especially in some poor states of Brazil. And in one community, I'd like to talk in one community about 200 people receive the protocol of Dr. Limão. And they do the protocol and they get a better health and then have a good time. And then, well, people are very happy and very glad with the situation. So it's something that's very successful in some parts of Brazil that they are sharing the Dr. Limão community. So I think it's very, very okay. And then we just would like to give this to more people, to more people,
Yes.
and also to have more supporters and more people helping, because that's something that's very, very successful. I think so. That's what I want to say.
Yes. Thank you so much, Luciano. Yeah, we know that Brazil has been one of the biggest success stories in terms of countries with the Impact Market Program, where our communities are fully using and leveraging the cello ecosystem along with Impact Market, Valora, etc. So I see that Bernard has joined us. Welcome, Bernard. We are very happy to see you among us. So without further ado, let me introduce to you Bernard, who is speaking to us from the Philippines, I believe. So Bernard, okay, we lost Bernard again. Yes, I will then move to the next question, hoping that we will have Bernard with us. If Bernard succeeds to join us, we will ask him the question later. So this takes us, after we talked about onboarding communities and how challenging that could be, and after we spoke about the first cash out and communities really seeing that the money is real and what that does in terms of building trust, let's transition to our third question. So Luciano has already spoke a lot about this, but let me ask Ria, So Ria, how has the program impacted the communities you work with so far? Do you have any stories in particular that you would like to share with us, same as Luciano did?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, again, I'm especially happy about this part because our core goal at Rio is to turn long-standing or long-lasting refugee camps into microeconomies. What this means is we recognize that refugees are people who had skills and responsibilities and education before they became displaced, before they became refugees. And so, how do we get money into their hands and help them restart their lives by means of starting businesses or funding education or even just being able to buy food? And so and so what we've seen, a lot of our successes are around refugees who started businesses from the UBI that they're receiving. And let's bear in mind also it's a relatively small amount, but they're able to save this money and to start businesses within the refugee camps and have started microeconomies within the refugee camps that they themselves are patronizing. One of our refugees, for instance, I mentioned earlier, has started an e-commerce business within the camp that's running on Valora. And another of our beneficiaries, who has a family of six, has started a hair salon, which is the first in the refugee camp. And this camp has been established since 1996, and this is the first time that an ultra modern hair salon has been established. Other A lot of the other refugees have put money and expanded their restaurant businesses within the camps. And so we find that a lot of them are no longer going outside of the camps to purchase things that did not exist in the camps before. And this is one of our proudest moments because, and we may talk about this later on. I believe it's one of the last questions, but this helps us also create an exit strategy because
Exactly.
we have failed if we have not helped our beneficiaries become self-sustaining.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ria. I'm glad you mentioned this. So what I'm hearing that you have already been able to witness economic growth and economic sustainability, indicators of economic
Mm,
sustainability. So thanks to the UBI, you've already been able to see that beneficiaries started owning assets, started
yes,
saving money, and started reinvesting this money
exactly.
to grow their capital, which is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing these stories, and very happy that you can be rewarded in such ways. So I see that we have Angelo who joined us instead of Bernard, I'm guessing. So Angelo, since I do not have your introduction, I will yield the floor to you to introduce yourself. Thank you so much for joining. Go
Yeah, I'm
ahead,
filling in
please.
for Bernard. I think he's just experiencing internet connections, but it would have been fantastic if he can share directly because he really did the heavy lift in terms of like organizing the community. But really quickly, I'm Angelo Kalau. I work for the Cello Foundation. I'm based in Manila, but right now I'm in Nairobi, Kenya. I have helped establish our impact market communities in the Philippines and happy to share also our experiences. Maybe I'll build something quickly on what Ria said. We saw actually the same trend among our beneficiaries in the Philippines. Most of them really are very persistent, but the pandemic came really just like a wild shock for them that they really got displaced and their sources of income were really eradicated. And so like impact markets assistance came at the right time just for them to regain their footing. Some of them both in the north as well as like near the capital where two communities existed. We saw them engage in entrepreneurial endeavors like small businesses selling barbecue, selling small stuff, funding irrigation for their farm projects. And I guess like this is the part where they see that the assistance is like a stopgap measure, but the goal really is to get back into their feet and see this as like, okay, we really want to restart our lives. We really want this to be sustainable. And I think that's one thing that we really admire in these communities, that they see a way to kind of like see how the assistance can be a multiplier, not just for their own families and for themselves, but also for their communities.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing this, Angelo. And let me go back a little bit and ask you the same questions that we asked to Luciano and Ria earlier. So if you could tell us a little bit, we with Impact Market now that we have been working for a little over a year, we have learned that providing UBI to vulnerable communities could be a challenging task to do. So what can you say about the onboarding process of communities in the Philippines? How was Impact Market received? What were some of the first reactions toward the program, and how did you manage that situation?
Right. I was listening to Ria as well as to the conversation a while ago, and I would say that it's the same experience in the Philippines. The skepticism is two levels. The first one really is like, where's this free money coming from, right? Like, is this a gift from heaven? Where are these guys coming from? Why are they so generous? In fact, Bernard would be fantastic in sharing. The first community that we approached in the north was a fisherman community, like a fishing community, and they said no. Like, it was clear they're gonna get like in the span of like several months $300. They said this is so weird. They're really skeptic. What are the strings attached before we say yes? And so, like, convincing them that this is a legitimate program was a struggle. But the second level to that is introducing them to cryptocurrency, that they're receiving money in CS dollars. It's a stable coin, but naturally there's fluctuation because of the exchange rate between the Philippine peso and CUS dollars. And so, like, most of them are not frequent users of foreign currency to begin with. And so, like, that type of education of like making them appreciate that cryptocurrency is real money and cryptocurrency is something that's useful was also difficult. And I guess like our experience in the Philippines across the board is two levels. The first one is, and this is where community managers are pivotal. And I want to sing praises again to Bernard, to Norman, to our partners in the Philippines. Just like the phase that this application is not like some rando that you download, but there is in fact like a company that supports this really matters in building trust. And then at the same time, like even within the community, we find champions, people that we show like, hey, this is how it works. And then those champions become some sort of like the evangelists to say like, okay, this is really working. This is not fooling us. There is no catch here. The important part for us is really to think about how can we maximize the benefits of this UBI and to think that this is time bound and how can we regain our footing as a community given that this assistance is available. So that's one thing that we wrote in the blog, like this community approach to the UBI to multiply the trust and to really strengthen the credibility of the program really helped us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. We do have challenges. The first one, as you explained very well, Angelo, is who are these people? What are they doing? Why are they giving money? Where is that money coming from? And again, I cannot stop emphasizing that we are engaging with vulnerable communities. And with vulnerable communities, there is a specific code of conduct where we should never do harm, and we should know how to engage with these vulnerable communities with their own needs and their own history. So one needs to be cognizant of this context and empower these communities. So as you said, Angelo, and as you said, as you mentioned, Luciano, as well as Ria, educating these communities about cryptocurrency, educating them about this digital ecosystem and how they can be active players and how they can leverage this system to their advantage. Thank you so much. So Angelo, if you can also touch base with us about the first cash out what it meant to your communities, how did it happen, and what are they doing now? Are they still cashing out? Are they using Valora? Are the local merchants using Valora? Are the beneficiaries accumulating asset on Valora? Take it away, please, Angelo.
Yeah, I'll speak quickly so that we can continue the discussion. So cash out is an integral component to build the trust of the community, both in the program and cryptocurrency. And without the cash out component, I think I'll be brave to argue that the program could have failed, or like we would not have gotten like the momentum or like the trust that we have. And so we're lucky to have a local exchange in the Philippines to help us facilitate that cash out. And then I think that was the first thing that we wanted to show to them, that this is convertible to Philippine peso. And then they have, just like, because it's unconditional, they have the choice whether they want to keep it in digital form or whether they want to cash it out in
Yes.
their to fiat. So that experience was crucial. And I would say that there's one community close to the capital, which is Manila. After the first cash out, that's where the interest increased, and people started being curious about the program. Like, hey, they're getting this, and of course, like the first experience of getting the physical cash kind of really excited them, and
Yes.
made them really grateful that we're doing this with them. And then what we did is that cryptocurrency is a complex concept. So we kind of like faced it in terms of like the relationship with them in terms of education. At first, to teach them about what the program is, what the apps are, and then teach them about like the cash out process. And then later on, we introduce them like, hey, in Valora, you can convert some of your CUSD to Celo and make it as an investment vehicle. And I can speak anecdotally right now. Some people really tinkered with it. Some of them are holding Celo and are bullish on Celo, which makes me happy from the Celo Foundation side. And yeah, so I guess like this is the part where we give them the option. And of course, we inform them about the risks, that it goes both ways. Like there's a probability that it will increase, there's a probability that it will also decrease. I don't know if Bernard is also already online. He can also speak quickly about like the cash out process being very essential to like the Loom weavers in the north.
Yes, I think Bernard is with us. Bernard, can you hear us? Okay, I think Bernard, if you can hear us, give us a sign. But I do have a question for you, Bernard, towards the end also. So I will be calling your name if you are with us.
And this is actually, what we're experiencing right now is another reality, right? Like internet
Yes.
connection, especially in certain parts of the Philippines, is still unreliable. And
Absolutely.
unfortunately, both the Impact Market app and the Valora app are reliant on internet connection. I think both apps are doing well in terms of making it friendly to low-end devices, but still, like internet connection is still, a reality that we have to face.
Yes, yes. To be able to bridge the gap that exists within our impoverished infrastructure in the world and non-harmonious infrastructure, we have to we have to leverage some of the technologies, and hopefully we can go through and around these challenges. So, waiting to hear from Bernard, I will move to our next question, which is so we already asked you all how has the impact of the program on your community so far? What are some of the stories that you have seen? I don't know, Angelo, if you have anything to add in that sense. Do you have any success stories that you'd like to share with us? Positive impact that the program has had on communities?
Yeah, this would have been fantastic also if it came from Bernard. So aside from some of the weavers in the north, These are traditional weavers. They're like, looms and craft. Some of them found ways to establish their own businesses, which is great.
Yes.
I wanted to highlight that what they wanted to do is to go back to weaving. And so what they did was to use the Valora app to market their products abroad and to receive payments. And so
Yes.
they did a pilot where they sold their products to members of the Cello community and used Valora as a payment. So again, like their entrance to the world of crypto was impact market, and they saw the potential of crypto to support their original craft, which is weaving. And so we were able to use that. They were able to use that to have an online presence and to open themselves to international market. And then we have another member of the Alliance for Prosperity, Paychant, that enabled them to set up an online market. You can support them. If you want to, you can buy products from them. Now they have an online store where the products are viewable. These are like weaves from the community, and you can use your CUSD to pay them. And so like just like
Yes.
this story of like helping them get back to their feet, helping them like embrace their craft again, and then the technology, yeah, boosting their sales and then getting helping them regain what they love doing the most.
Yes, very cool. So UBI is unleashing potential in the literal sense here and supporting communities to do what they like and what they love. And as we say, do what you love and you will succeed, right? So we do actually, I'm glad you brought this up, Angelo, because we do have a video of about this community, Woven Lives, if I'm not mistaken. So we can wrap up this session with a video and share with everyone who's attending with us this event some images and some video about this community. So let me move then to our next question. So we're here today together to celebrate 1 year of Impact Market. So after this 1 year, what have we learned as a community? What have we learned all together? Ria, Angelo, Bernard, Luciano. What can we improve at Impact Market? What are some of your suggestions and recommendations? I'll open the floor. If anybody has any reflections, yes, go ahead, please, Ria.
Okay, lovely. I think it's a great question, and it's a beautiful question also to conclude with, or to move towards concluding with. I can't say this enough times that we need an exit strategy for our communities, which means that our education needs to be revamped. We need to start our education process the very moment that we begin onboarding our beneficiaries. Although they do know that in some form of the abstract they will run out of UBI eventually, and they will be coming off the program eventually. A lot of them have not come to realization with that, and it sort of hits them all of a sudden, and they find themselves unprepared, and that's heartbreaking for us. Because again, if they're unprepared to leave the UBI community, then it means that we have not achieved what we set out to achieve, which is some form of economic integration, which is creating microeconomies, which is influencing self-sustainability of our beneficiaries. And so I think the education around coming to a close of the program, around the best ways to utilize your UBI, and around just creating or helping our beneficiaries arrive at a personalized exit strategy for them, or even if they're going to come together as a community or as small pockets of a community, and how do I say, design a community-centric exit strategy, would be amazing. So I think the education is an extremely important bit for this UBI program. The money is not enough. The tech angle is not enough. The USSD integrations are not enough. We need education, serious education that's personalized, that's culture specific, that's context specific, that helps our beneficiaries prepare for the exit of this. Because you'll find, at least I've noticed in the refugee camps, and I've been to the camps recently and I've listened to some of our beneficiaries who are coming out of the program, is that what it's now doing is playing a bit of a psychological mind game on them, because they're growing a sense of desperation because they're all of a sudden coming off the program and they're not certain where their next kinds of basic income are going to come from. And so the education is exceedingly important. Otherwise, we will find that we are, and this is also on us as managers of the communities, we'll find that we are creating a larger problem than our communities not having money before. Because all of a sudden we've introduced this novel, amazing thing that's immediately and directly helpful to them, and then we're taking it away without preparing them for what's to come after. And so education is where we should be looking to now.
Yeah, very well said, Ria. Does anybody have something different or an addition to that?
Yes, I'd like to talk. It's important to remember that we are coming to a new world, the world that the people have to share not only money but also love, teaching, and this work that is done about the community, Dr. Limão, Impact Mark, and all of the team, is something that is going to grow every time more, because we're not just giving help to one people, but to very families, very people, maybe a whole city, maybe a whole state. Many people are going to be touched about this action. So the world needs actions like this, with people helping, people sharing, people helping each other, because in the next future, in the next world that we are coming from, that we're going to, it's going to be this: everyone help each other, and we are running to a better world. And this is the first step, maybe, to go there. So I'd like to congratulate all the people that work in all the team of Impact Mark and the Valor Bitfi community, Dr. Limão, because we are in the right way. That's it. We are doing the right things at the right moment, and people really needs this. We are going to anytime expand to more people, expand not only money, but also the teaching, also the background that comes around with this. And so I'm very sure that not only we are doing this, but all the, how I say, the angels, everybody spirituality, they also is going, because this work that the community, Dr. Limão, does also helps to clean the mind, to clean the ideas, to clean the spiritual, to clean the intuition, because they clean the pineal gland and other organs of the body. So we're doing to do something very, very important to the next future. That's the message I'd like to say. And that God bless everybody that is coming and helping this, and also coming to help to ask more donators and more people coming and knowing about the community, Dr. Limão.
Yes.
Cheers to that. Yes. Yes, thank you so much, Luciano. You all heard Luciano's call to action. Let's all be behind initiatives that do work, initiatives that bring more support and love to the world, very much needed. Donations, support, creating communities, outreach, spreading the word, building trust. It all helps. I don't know. I still don't know if Bernard can hear us. Bernard,
hi, Viva.
Talk to us at any moment.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, Bernard. Hi, how are you?
Yeah. I'm okay. Really sorry about this one.
No problem.
It seems to have internet problems at my end. Yes. And
yes.
I'm thankful that Angela was here to speak on my behalf while I'm figuring things out. So I just want to segue from what Ria was able to discuss a while ago, how you need to prepare the people as they exit from the program. Now, knowing how Filipino mentality works, one of the things that I really made sure when we started and onboarded the communities, I'm actually managing 2 communities at the moment, is that we had to give them the real picture that this is not something that lasts forever, that it is time bound, that we do have restrictions, and we do have goals of expanding the benefits to the other communities as well. So in terms of preparedness, I think that the community is more or less accepting that it's not going to last forever. In fact, the first community that I have only has 2 more months to go. But it seems that one of the things that I'm truly proud of is that most of them have improved on their lives comparing to how we started off. So compared to maybe others that just wantonly disposes the money that they get, most of the members that I have actually invested the money that they got. So we've seen people investing it in small businesses, which now adds an extra $4 for them a day, which is not so bad when you think about it. And then some of them even use the money to irrigate their rice fields, especially when you know the context in the Philippines at the moment. It's severe drought. There's no rainfall. So the only way that they can secure income coming in from the agricultural produces that they get is that they get to water their rice fields. And so they had to manually do it, and obviously that needs money. So at the moment, since there are no people patronizing their weaves, the impact market, Cello, and all the platforms that we're using came in a very opportune time because it was able to fit in, or what I mean by that is that it was able to fill in the gaps that are needed by the people that we have on the communities that we're managing. Definitely what we're looking at now is basically expanding more, reaching the program to more people. Because for the example of my town in Poway, we have been supporting 40 individuals, but this is just one weaving cluster. And there are other weaving clusters who are even smaller in my town. And we had a discussion before that we might want to extend the program to them as well. So at least that could help them breathe a bit, especially during these trying times. I don't know if Angela was able to share this to you. Part of the exit plan that we also did for the weaving community is to establish an online market for them.
Yes.
We tied with Paychant, so that's something that they can independently manage, which is something new.
Beautiful.
Because before we manage the community, the only way that they can sell their products is through middlemen. So at least now we are empowering them in having a control of the market on their own terms and in their own pace. So at least that's one of the things that we are also truly proud of.
Very cool. Yeah, thank you so much, Bernard. That's really great. So if I had to sum up what we have learned after a year of engaging with communities, we have to be culturally sensitive. We have to know how to engage with vulnerable communities. We have to build trust. We have to emphasize financial literacy and really building capacity around financial literacy. Be honest, be transparent, and prepare our communities to transition out of the program and to be ready to face the world with new knowledge, new assets, etc. So thank you so very much, all of you. And I think, Bernard, you did answer our last question, which was, since you have communities that are finishing up the program soon and they have only 2 more cash outs, or 2 more claims, sorry, what did you do? So as you explained, you have supported the community to set up an online market so they can sustain themselves beyond the UBI. So I know that we are over time, so I hope that everyone else is not going to hate me very much. But we have one last video from the Philippines, so we can end this beautiful session on some video and some to bring you a little bit closer to our communities and for you to share their realities for a couple of minutes. Thank you so much, everyone who has joined us on this session. I will be sharing my screen for the video. It was amazing to share time with you. Let's keep in touch. And as Luciano told you, please don't forget to make a donation if you can afford that. We have a donate now button on the top to the right. So if you can drop some crypto there, that would be really amazing. If you cannot drop crypto, drop love, support, and healing. Thank you all. I'll be sharing my screen now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all, everyone, everybody.
God bless.
Good luck. Greetings.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
luck.
you.
weavers that we're dealing with in Hawaii are traditional weavers. And that's a good thing and at the same time a bad thing. Why is that so? When we talk about traditional weavers, they are basically keeping faithful to what the old ways were. So they're doing what has been done in the last 400 years. The bad thing about being traditional weavers is that you're not commercialized, meaning you don't expect them to have access to good markets. You don't expect them to have the capabilities to compete with other leading groups for them to be able to sell their works as fast as others would.
Ay, idi pandemic sir ket nagligat na talaga. Ure kasanot ti abul ka sir, awan met ti aggatang. So nga nakatambak lang ita dagiti product ni sir.
The weavers are not only having a hard time selling internationally, in fact, they're also having a hard time locally. But we wanted to become ambitious this time. We want to showcase their products to the global market. But that's the hard thing.
Dati inted yung proyekto ket agdududa kani idi at dati pa nagduadwami.
The platform that we're offering will give them access to a bigger clientele, to a wider option of payment, something that was never available for them before.
Enjoy borna iti pag-save nga. Adak ni sir.
The weavers are not only having a hard time selling internationally, in fact, they're also having a hard time locally. But we wanted to become ambitious this time. We want to showcase their products to the global market. But that's the hard thing.
Dati inted yung proyekto ket agdududa kani idi at dati pa nagduadwami.
The platform that we're offering will give them access to a bigger clientele, to a wider option of payment, something that was never available for them before.
Enjoy borna iti pag-save nga. Ngam no dati kurkurang at sir, kumautak mo't lang di sir. Ngam kadagituyin sir, adagya inted yung baloran, ijayak nga agi savings yung tapno iti kastahan nga mapukaw ken matakaw day sir.
And the gift that we gave them actually gave them better reasons to be united, gave them better reasons to keep their craft and not abandon whatever they have.
Idi ko utang kami sir at gusto lang ti tapul mi.
This helps us a lot because during this pandemic, we are not getting a lot of customers like before.
I could hindi maisasarita mo lumay mo may magkakanta kami aser akit talagang dahil namin nga maragsakay din at siyempre tumulong kayo nga at makaipaay kata kami kasdyan sir.
It's convenient, it's safe, it's user-friendly. These weavers are not even the most learned people around, but definitely it's something that they can handle. And they're slowly appreciating it far better than how we started off.
Kaya anak ko diyan tatas screen na diso di pasungkat ko ni mapalitin. Pati anak ko din ya sir ko dada mo pa yung abu day tax screen sir. Uri ka dito iso nga day ta anak ko timang operate sir kada diyan. Tata cellphone ko tay mo labati so di pag makikita no pundi kita ta baka di mapunas ko mo kaya o day pag makakser iso nga ko na usarin pa ilain.
sapay lakuma. Lakayo sir, itultuloy yu ti panang tulong yu kanyaming agab-aber, dahil community ming weaver, tapno iti kasta, tuloy-tuloy lang pati panagpamit ko, pagtitinulong.
I would like for all the members to grow up together mentally, financially, and everything. Kaya lahat angat lahat kami sana.
And because of that, at the end of the day, we have nothing to feel but gratitude.
Nagrigat, di pa nagbiag ni sir. No, awan ti kayod, awan mo, sir. Kasangit
We hope and pray that the Cello Valora market impact will continuously help us.
We are thankful for the technology. We are thankful to the platforms. And we can be proud to say that we are being helped by Cello. Just Nina, Agyaman Kami. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much for watching the video with us. Now I turn it over to Jessica to take it away with the next session. Thank you all. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you, Iba, and thank you, Ria, as well. Thanks, everyone,
As well.
for this amazing session. It was really inspiring to hear from you all. So hi, everyone. I'm Jessica, the growth manager at Impact Market, and today I will be moderating the session on the different ways to support our community and how you, as an attendee, as a person, part of the project, or as an individual, can help us in our fight against extreme poverty. So let me call to the stage the next speaker, Evan, Alex, and Lorenzo. Please join the stage.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Lorenzo. Hi, Alex. Hi, Evan. So today we have Evan, who is the CEO of UbiSwap. We have Alex, who is founder and CEO of AriSwap, and Lorenzo, founder of Cellopunks. So please, everyone, welcome our three speakers. And thank you so much, the three of you, for joining us today. We're really happy to have you here. Without no further ado, I would like to get started, and I would love if each of you could introduce the project you are currently working on, as well as its goal and mission. So let's start with Evan.
Great. Thanks so much for the intro and for having this panel today. So I'm the business lead, or CEO, if you'd like to call it that, for UBI-Swap. I joined about 3 months ago, and our mission is to really, in one sense, just decentralize the platform so it's community run and can be accessed by and controlled by our power users, who we feel are those folks such as Valora users or impact market users, really anyone with even $1 in their pocket. We regard as a power user on UBI-Swap, because we make access to DeFi and the ability to earn income through DeFi available to all. So, before joining UBI-Swap, I was with Cello Labs for about 2 years, heading Asia ecosystem growth. And it's really exciting to be working with Impact Market to think of how we can scale the impact beyond basic income and help further the financial opportunities of the communities that you're serving.
Thanks, Evan, for this introduction. Please, Alex, go ahead and introduce your project. We all are, looking forward to hear what you're doing.
Hi, everyone. How are you? I'm Alex Rodriguez. I am the CEO and founder of AriSwap. So AriSwap is a social blockchain NFT marketplace built on the Celo ecosystem. And essentially our mission is to help build the creator economy and community verse in the Celo ecosystem. And our vision is to have social fun for social good. And that's what brought us here to this incredible event with Impact Market and UBI. So we're definitely excited to be a part of this and be able to help add some funds to Impact Market and the greater good and the cause that we have here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex. And last but not least, Lorenzo, who is hiding himself behind the Celopunks. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, and thanks for inviting me, first of all. I'm Lorenzo, 24 years old web developer. I'm a crypto enthusiast, and I created Celopunks with my brother back in October, and since then, running Celopunk basically became my full-time job. We started as a simple NFT project with no goal or mission besides selling the NFT image itself. But right now, after seeing all the attention and love that we receive after we went sold out in 10 minutes, we would like to expand the Celo NFT ecosystem in collaboration with other projects and the Celo Foundation because we see so much potential in here. The goal right now is try to bring more users from other blockchain and establish our project as NFT blue chip in the Celo blockchain for the years to come.
Thank you so much, Lorenzo. So as you all heard, we have an amazing project here with us. So as you all mentioned, all of your projects, such as an impact market as well, are built on Celo. On the impact market side, we are often asked why. Could you all tell us a bit more about why each of you decide to bring your project to Celo? Maybe Alex, you could start on this.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to. So one of the things we were trying to find alignment, and what I mean by alignment is alignment through our purpose and our vision and our mission. And when we started researching all the different blockchains and who they are and how they're set up and what their focus is, that's when we saw that Celo's mission is true to the heart. It is prosperity for all. And that's some of the things that we hold true in our core values and who we are as an organization and as a team and as a group here. So that's one of the main reasons why it's that involvement of prosperity for all and what it means and how it impacts each one of us as human beings and individuals. So.
Thank you. Evan, maybe we would love to hear from you as well.
Yeah, but before UBI there really wasn't much liquidity or trading on Celo or with assets that were or tokens that were generated to power ecosystems built on Celo. And so UBI one, brought that service and function to the community, but also more broadly, we see ourselves as powering a decentralized pool of liquidity that's accessible to all. So there's a number of different protocols that are integrating UBI liquidity, including Valora now, which is really exciting for impact market users. And we're hoping to continue this momentum, one, to make sure that anyone, with as little as $1 in their pocket can, sort of hold the assets that they value, whether it is that stable coin or swap to another stable coin, to hold a local currency perhaps. So that adds a lot of value for the community, and being able to do that with, almost no gas costs and, very fast transaction time is very important. And then also some of our other goals, which I can speak to more later, are to have the actual growth of the platform help to power income generation for impact market communities. And that's something that, DeFi really anywhere is not doing yet, is having a real world impact and helping the greater good. And I think that's something that's possible on Celo, whereas it's not necessarily possible on other blockchains because the communities don't really think in that manner. And so, yeah, we're excited to push that momentum forward too.
Thank you so much, Evan, for that. I think you both touched on it. I think the reason why all of us are here building on Celo is because we all believe in prosperity for all and, bringing DeFi to those who actually need it the most and who could benefit the most from it. So yeah, let's dive right in what you say, Evan. How are each of your project planning to support impact market and social impact in general? So maybe Lorenzo from Celopunks, you might want to share some insights.
Yes. I think that NFTs in general are a great way to give back to the community and at the same time keep the community attached to the project. We saw Kobe Bryant, the basketball player, launching his 10K NFT collection for a charitable cause. We saw Jack Dorsey selling his first tweet as NFT for approximately $3 million and give it all to charity. And on Celo blockchain, we are also seeing that there is a charity focus from all the ecosystem projects, NFT included. Under the Prosperity for All motto, with a special eye for impact market, for sure. Just for example, yesterday, Celo Apes donate 10% of what they raised from their minting event, and I think that's amazing. Many other NFTs projects have included this kind of good action in the roadmap, and we are also honored and happy to collaborate with Impact Market for a great cause.
Thank you so much for that, Lorenzo. And yeah, thanks for mentioning Celo Apps. If you guys are watching us today, thank you so much. We're very grateful for your support. It's going to help thousands of people. So thanks a lot. Alex, tell us more about how you are planning to support impact market and social impact in general.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the main ways we're doing it is essentially 5% of all the revenues that ReSwap gets from their NFT marketplace and their whole ecosystem and platform will go straight to Impact Market via Celo US dollars. So that's one way that we're super excited about. The other thing we're excited about is, as we mentioned, it's building that community verse, and I think Lorenzo did a great job talking about that, is how the Celo ecosystem is kind of one big family. And it's amazing to see how they all share in that same thought and vision. And it's working with all the creators as they enter the space and kind of talking to them about what their goals are, what they want to achieve, what they want to accomplish, and what their purpose and mission is. And then start making introductions with other creators, other brands, other projects within the Celo ecosystem, including Impact Market. And we've seen a lot of creators come in and partner up with Impact Market on some exclusive runs, which is pretty exciting to see. Put together a creator fund where it's focused on helping creators grow themselves and their brand. And it's something that we're going to want to align with Impact Market on to kind of piece that together. So those are some of the ways we're working to fulfill that mission. And we're excited to announce that here.
So many new ways. Thank you. We were not even aware. So glad to learn about that today, actually. Evan, I know you touched base a bit on that, but we would love to learn more about this and your idea on how you could contribute to social causes and, kind of how you would suggest to other projects that can do the same as UbiSwap would do. So please.
Absolutely. So one idea that's gained a lot of support with our community, because again, the community kind of they vote on these initiatives because the project is largely community run, is to have a small amount of all transaction fees on UBISwap sent to the Impact Market Treasury. So it'd be about 4% of the actual transaction fee. And UBISwap has pretty high transaction volume. Some days it's been as high as $20 million, and on average it's around $3 to $5 million a day. So I think that can be a meaningful contribution over time as the platform scales. And so that's a really exciting way to align interests and to make it programmatic so that there's sort of continuous source of funding, which I think is vital for the success of UBI. Also, we're working to add a portfolio view so that people, especially like Valora users who may not be able to see all the assets on their app, can see see kind of what their holdings are, what their income is, and that can help them with managing their funds as they kind of lift off from a level of poverty through basic income to a level where they can achieve greater prosperity. And then also, yes, we'd love to work with Impact Market to explore even more wallet options. So as Impact Market really grows its community and service and has a more dedicated focus on serving this entrenched user base, what other wallet options are possible for Impact Market? And I think UBI would be a core part of that, just by providing liquidity on the back end. So that's something that is in the early stages, but we're looking to kick off soon.
Thank you so much for sharing. So I think all our attendees got a snapshot on how they could potentially help. We have 3 different ways here. Thank you so much. I think, if I may say, the entire Impact Market team and the 23,000 beneficiaries we currently have are really grateful for those initiatives and your support. Now, if I may, and before we end this session, I know Lorenzo from Celopunks has a special announcement to make today. So please, Lorenzo, leaving you the stage here.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm sharing my screen now. And I have to say that this is the collaboration that I'm most honored of. This collaboration was born in October thanks to an idea of Kim from Celo Daily that is not here with us today because of the time zone, but it's also part of this collaboration and it's important to mention it. And we created 10 special animated edition of Celopunks for Impact Market that will go on auction on AriSwap later in December. All the money raised from the sales, including the fees from AriSwap, will go to Impact Market to support their mission for prosperity for all. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lorenzo. That's amazing. I'm sure everyone is ready to buy all the Celopunk that I just saw, myself included. So really exciting about that. Again, thank you so much, Evan, Alex, and Lorenzo. It was a pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you so much again for your continuous support, which is really important. And yeah, let's catch up soon and keep going the great work all the projects are currently doing. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Now for the next session, we will have Katarina. So just need to join the 3rd one and we will see you all there. Bye-bye.